Hi, this is Kerrie Ann from Gun Owners Action League. I'm the Outreach Director for Massachusetts.
And I am Mike Harris from Gun Owners Action League. I'm the Director of Public Policy for Goal. And we are joined by our good friend.
I am Jared Yanis of Guns and Gadgets and formerly a Massachusetts resident.
And we are here at GRPC 2025. It's for those of you who don't know, GRPC is it's kind of a weekend of seminars and kind of getting together to discuss gun policy across the Commonwealth. It's a mix of national groups, national figures like Jared, and local groups like ours, just kind of getting together to discuss gun policy across the country and just kind of seeing what everyone else is doing and what works, what doesn't, and it's fun.
Yeah.
We're out here in Utah.
I like to call it a family reunion, honestly.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of great speakers that are joining us. And in fact, if you go to the Second Amendment Foundation's website, go on to Gun Rights Policy Conference 2025. There's a list of all the speakers, amazing speakers. And today we did. Why don't you tell us about today?
So today was AMMCon. So today was more focused on people that are in the media and want to learn what's working for other people. So we have people who offer tips and tricks. We learned about AI and how it's not always your friend today.
How it's not all it's cracked up to be.
No. Always double check your information.
Yes.
But it was good to see people from around the country who were able to show some successes that they've had and give us that information so we could tailor that to what we do.
Yeah, it was incredibly interesting today. I mean, we ran everything from like local California politics all the way up through Mark Smith from the Four Boxes Diner giving us a law lecture. I felt like I was back in school again. It was kind of awesome. And then then we had a debate about AI and what it means for journalism and what else it can be used for. And it was fascinating. It was a good day.
It was awesome, but we'll also going to be putting something underneath on the link down below regarding the speakers that were there today. And we also had Women for Gun Rights there, and Armed Women of America were there. A lot of heavy hitters.
Yeah, there was about 100 people in the room, so it was good. And it was sold out. It was packed, and everybody stayed till the end, which is always a good thing. Yeah.
It seemed to go by fast too. It started check-in was like 8 a.m. and it didn't end till 5, but it didn't. Everyone was still happy. No one was in a bad mood. It was good.
It was a good day, yeah. Especially for being out here in the middle of nowhere in Salt Lake City.
I know. Salt Lake City, I feel like I'm in the middle of a crater.
Yeah. A Comic-Con crater.
Yeah, right? Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. Comic-Con is going on across the street. It's like, what is it, Fan X or something?
Yeah.
But they're I've seen
outfits.
a lot of interesting outfits, but I've also seen, like, the entire rainbow and beyond of hair color. Today,
Yes.
There's some stuff that's just not found in nature out there on some of these people, and it's been interesting. But everyone's actually been pretty cool. I haven't heard of anybody having any run-ins or anything.
So go back to today. I know that when I go, this is my second year going to the Gun Rights Policy Conference, and last year was my first year, and I feel like it was a blur for me because I was nervous coming in. I was by myself, and I learned a lot, but I think I learned a lot this time coming around because it's my second year. I kind of know what's going on. I know what to expect. Did you get a lot from it today? What was the one thing that stuck out for you?
Yeah, it's also my second year too. So, and I give SAF credit because they're kind of changing up the way they've done it. They're going through a rebranding, which is great to see.
Very cool.
I every time I go anywhere throughout the country, I always try to keep an open mind. I don't know everything, and I try to pull something from everybody I listen to at every event.
Yeah.
The old tools in a toolbox type metaphor. If I'm not pulling information away from somebody that is doing something different or better than I am, then I'm just not being a good student of the game.
Yeah.
So I just try to learn from everybody, including yourself when you get up and speak this week.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Hey, you're speaking tomorrow at 11:15.
Yep.
That's another thing. I'm going to try and get this up today, like this afternoon. And I will put a link down so you can check out everyone's speeches tomorrow. So, Jared, you're speaking at 5 o'clock tomorrow?
I'm the last one,
You're the
5
last
or
guy?
5:30,
5 or
whatever it is.
5:30?
I know we saw that, we're like,
Yeah.
oh.
It's like, oh, it's going to be a long day, too. But we'll
Gives
stick it, we'll
gives
stick
me
it out
longer.
for
I
you.
keep changing my
You know
speech,
what?
so I have
They
more
did
time.
that, right? They did that so you can, so everybody would stay, because the heavy hitters are at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's why they did it.
Yeah, that's why.
It's true. No, it's true, though. I mean, they started off strong, and then they finish even stronger. So, you know.
No pressure. We'll see.
I'm
That'll be good.
honored to be asked back again
But-
to speak and
Yeah.
sing the national anthem.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're opening it up with the national anthem
Very
tomorrow.
excited about that.
But yeah, I'll put you can live stream the entire event, and if you want to see it, that's why I said Kerrie Ann speaking at 11:15, and
Pressure's
Jared
on
speaking
now.
at 5 or 5:30, I believe. I don't know. I'll put it up there in the description. But yeah, so yeah, it's going to be a fun weekend. I'm excited
I
about
know. So what are you looking forward to for the next 2 days? What do you expect to get out of it?
Well, it's good to see a lot of people that I only get to see at this event because we all kind of break up and do our own thing. So it's good to see you guys again. For me, the camaraderie is the best part of this.
Yes.
'Cause it's so easy to get down, as you guys know, in Massachusetts. It's very easy to get down on yourself and to feel overwhelmed. But then you start talking to people who are doing the same thing in other parts of the country, and you realize, you're doing solid work that nobody else wants to do.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest part for me. Is it helps re-energize me because this is exhausting.
Yeah.
It is.
And to be at it nonstop. Like
Right.
I mean, you guys are doing it 24 hours a day too. It's good to see other people and just re-inject a little bit of life back into you.
Yeah.
I completely agree. It used to be, so the first couple of events I came to with this, for this type of stuff, it was always, ooh, Massachusetts, what are you doing here? And it was always like, well, I'm the one who should be here.
Right.
You guys got yours. We're trying to figure it out. So, but the last couple I went to AMMCon earlier in the year too, and now I'm talking to people and they're like,
So what's
oh,
AMMCon?
NRAM, the National
I know,
NRA
but-
annual meeting.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah, that one's, it's like a mini SHOT Show kind of.
Yeah, it's open.
Yeah.
The big difference is it's open
Yep.
to the public, where
Right.
SHOT Show's not.
Right. But it used to be, ooh, Massachusetts, and now it's, oh, cool. We're happy to see you guys are here, like in the fight and doing this. So yeah, there's been a big mood change
Yeah,
in the
man.
last year or so.
And I like to see people recognize y'all because it's good to get Goal's name out there.
Yes.
There are still groups throughout this country who don't know what y'all are doing, and I think by you guys being here and being at different events, it's good. It just gets the name of the organization out, and you can start to foster those relationships directly
Right.
instead of trying to hit people up cold calling.
I'm glad that you said that too, because I feel that the other organizations that I volunteer my time for, Women for Gun Rights, Armed Women of America, and the Second Amendment Institute, I've had the great honor and privilege to be able to travel with them. And that gets me to be able to introduce myself and Goal. So Goal comes with me everywhere I go, and I think it's really important to network and, just walk around the room and realize that we're not alone in this
Right.
fight. And someone talked about today about, what does it feel when you go out in the woods? I said, I feel grounded. So when I come to these events like this, it recharges me, as you said, but I also feel grounded.
Yeah.
So when I get back home, I feel like we have this energy back, or this fire that we need to keep lit for the Sons of Liberty in Massachusetts, just saying, and really go to work.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, you talk to people, and you're like, hey, like the Massachusetts is worth saving. We have, you go out and like Concord. Jeff Strider he's the one of the co-hosts on the Goal podcast, and he's the vice president of Goal, and he always talks about how he goes hunting out in Concord, and he's like, I'm walking and I'm climbing over these like rock walls, and I'm laying down in these woods and looking at these fields where all of our forefathers used to go and get dinner.
Yeah.
He's like, it's just such a,
Wow.
it like makes your heart stop.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it's worth staying, it's worth being here, and it's worth keeping the actual fight going, and we're trying our best.
Tell them about so we have a special, another event that's happening, June 2026, June 13th, so mark your calendars, and we're celebrating the 250th anniversary of this country.
Yep.
And you are speaking.
I'll be there.
So what does it mean to you when you get to go to these events that are so significant, like the 250th anniversary for Lexington and Concord that you were part of as well. It's just, history is such, I think it's forgotten by some. And then I'll be honest with you, there's some parts of history that I'm not too familiar with, but that pushes me to learn more about it. So what does that mean to you when you get to be at these events, this historical events like that?
For me, it's extremely humbling. I'm a huge constitutionalist. I love the history of where it all began. I mean, when I lived in Massachusetts, I would go every other weekend to sit on Lexington Green just to take it in. Like, that was grounding for me. I don't need to go out in the woods. I just need to sit there where our forefathers bared their blood for what we're doing today. It's extremely important for me to think that people care enough to want me to be part of things where I'm just in love with what our forefathers did. I mean, I've marked my body with it. I've dedicated my life to it. It means a lot to me. Massachusetts is where freedom and liberty was born, and it's on us to bring it back. It doesn't live there now. In small slivers it does.
Yeah, little slivers.
But it needs to be there in full force, and it's the only way it's coming back is by a full team effort.
I agree.
I might not live there anymore, but I will do everything I can to make sure it returns to its previous glory.
And you're always there for us when we ask
Always,
you.
yeah, absolutely.
You've never said no to us, so we're.
It's like your heart's still part of Mass.
I mean, how could it not be?
I still got the accent.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know. What's the name of the inn? What's the name of the inn? The Sons of Liberty planted. Was it the Green Dragon? Is that what it was?
The Green Dragon Tavern.
Like YouTube is like the new Green Dragon Tavern.
100%, which is
I love that in
It's kind of cool. Like there are guys like you and like Brandon Herrera and John Lovell and like all those. We were talking about them earlier. But all these guys who all believe similar things but have different points of view on things, all getting the message out to. Sorry, that's the Italian in me.
Yep.
But they're all being part of the conversation and putting the ideas out there in this modern format. It's very cool to see. It's whenever I'm jump starting a project, like we talked about, I'll go. You always seem to be first with most things, and then if I'm looking for a legal question, I'll stop by the Armed Scholar and the Four Boxes to catch what those guys are talking about, because they've been in the throes of 2A jurisprudence since the beginning at this point.
Right.
I mean, it's a brand new, essentially a brand new area of law. It's way cool. It's so neat to be here at this point.
Yeah.
It's cool.
And the whole reason I started my channel 12 years ago now, during Maura Healey's, reinterpretation stuff, was because people didn't know what was going on.
Right.
And let's be honest, Second Amendment litigation and legislation is boring for most people. They don't care. They just want the nitty-gritty, and that's what I did, because nobody else was doing it. Yeah. And I'm a firm believer is what happens in Mass moves to California. What happens in California moves to New York. What happens in New York goes to Hawaii, and eventually it'll go to your state, no matter where you're watching from. Nobody is safe. Absolutely. Red states turn purple and purple turns blue. So if we're not all on the same page, then we don't know how to fight it united, and that's when the anti-gunners win.
And I agree with you, and that's why it's so important that if you never heard of the Gun Rights Policy Conference and you don't know much about it, I really strongly urge you to check it out, because if you are a local organization like Gun Owners Action League or other organizations within your state that's fighting for the fight, come and join the Gun Rights Policy Conference, because when you come here, you get the opportunity to introduce yourself, and so we know who you are, because you're right. If it trickles to one state, it's going to trickle to all the other states, and we have a big fight on our hands, and I'm new into this whole thing with understanding the law and understanding the bills, and Mike has been, and Jim Wallace has been a huge supporter for me and helping me understand the law. And now that going back to Mark Smith, I watch him, and I don't know about you, but he dummifies it down, so I'm like, oh, I get it. I understand it. So check his check out his YouTube too, because it's really great. So, but
I think we've said most of what needs to be said at this point, and
well, I have one other
all right,
question
we'll go
for both of you.
Yeah.
Okay, so both of you. All right. So, what's the message that you want all our listeners to hear and take with them for the fight?
Well, for me is, everybody, to a woman, to a man, always says, why aren't they suing? Why don't you sue for this? Why don't you sue for that? And we're all in the same ballpark, right? We all want to see these majestic victories in court. But these groups, Goal included, cannot do it without us, the members. I'm a life member of Goal. The membership is the lifeblood of every organization. So to have them succeed, we must help them succeed. Skip a pizza this month, send the $25 to Goal. Send it to your state group, send it to you, pick your favorite national org. You have to support them, because once they don't have the funds to do what we, the membership, want, they can't do it. So for us to ask or demand you guys and gals to do something but not give you the means or the tools to do it, we're not being genuine. So that is something I need everybody in the country to understand is, put your money where your mouth is. It's tough for everybody right now, but I will gladly skip a pizza to send money to Goal, and I'll gladly skip a pizza to send money to SAF, because they can put that pizza to better use than I can.
Oh, that's awesome, Mike. Mission.
Yeah, I appreciate everything Jared just said. That's awesome. And you're right on. But I like in the same vein of what I was talking about before, when people are like, oh, Massachusetts, it's you're not alone in the fight. There's a lot more of us than you think there are. Right. And coming to events like this are proof of it. I mean, like Kerrie Ann just said, if you've never been to one of these and if you're curious about it, it's free. Especially if it doesn't cost anything to go. If you can find one in a city that's close, like if it comes to a city that's closer to where you live, I would recommend going if you care. I mean, it's so cool to hear all of the different perspectives on how to solve the problems that are going on, and how to deal with restrictions and all that other stuff from folks who are doing it a different way in a different state. What works for your state might not work in another, but what works in your state might work in another, and that's an idea that they didn't have before. So that's been my biggest takeaway coming to these types of things is hearing from folks in different places that feel the same way that I do, and knowing that it gets kind of lonely in Massachusetts. And
It does.
yeah, and
Especially
it's
the
nice
winters.
Exactly. And it's nice to know that we have a big team behind us.
Yeah. So my call to action and my mission, and I get really emotional about it, and I feel like an idiot sometimes. Like the 250th anniversary that you were, I held back the tears when I was up there.
Me too.
I held back the tears, but the one thing that I was so proud of is the true patriots that were in that room, and there was 245 men, or men and women in that room. Can you imagine? The Sons of Liberty must have been looking at us going, well, there was 77 men on that field. Can you imagine if we all got together? So my call to action is, if you can't stand up and speak, if you don't know how to testify, if you really don't know what to do to try to protect our Second Amendment, everybody has a superpower. Everybody has something that touches their heart to fight for the mission. I mean, I'm going to bring up Charlie Kirk. I mean, look at that man and what he did.
Yeah.
It happened down the street.
30
Right.
minutes from where we're sitting right now.
Yep. And so if that don't inspire you to realize that we need your voice, and there's many different ways that you can participate in protecting our Second Amendment, our First Amendment, the Constitution. So, reach out to your local organizations, reach out to us, and find out how you can participate. And as Jared said, if you don't know what to do, become a member.
Yeah.
Donate. That really is.
Yeah, there's not an organization in this country that can't use volunteer help, whether it's 2 hours a week. They need your help. So if you can't throw money in the game, you can't, you don't want to start a YouTube, you don't want to start lobbying, they need your help. They can use your manpower, which sweat equity is even more valuable than most everything else we have. Yeah.
And check out. So do you have contact information? You want to roll that in there?
Guns and Gadgets on YouTube is the main way to do it, and support Blackout Coffee, because we get to help support the Second Amendment, so the government gets sued regularly.
Yeah, we love Blackout Coffee,
All right,
by the way.
so gentlemen,
Awesome.
cheers to the Second Amendment, to the First Amendment, to our mission.
So once again, I'm Mike Harris from Goal.
Kerrie Ann, all clear from goal.
Jared from Guns and Gadgets.
See you later.
Thanks, guys.
Stay vigilant. Keep training.